I just want to make a quick video in my responding to the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. First, I think we should all be thankful that all the hostages have been released, and we hope that the killing of thousands of innocent Palestinians has come to a conclusion, at least for now. But I think it's also a big mistake for Democratic politicians, past, present, Democratic influencers, pro-democracy individuals in the media to heap praise on Donald Trump for this ceasefire agreement. When you do that, you legitimize him and elevate his stature, when in my opinion, it should never be elevated. When you're dealing with an authoritarian takeover in this country and the abuse of power to this level, not seen ever probably in American history, the brutal crackdown on immigrants in general, attacking blue cities that didn't vote for him, I don't think you give him credit for anything. Okay, number one, they don't care, to Democratic politicians giving Trump credit, they don't care about your giving Trump credit. They're going to use that as propaganda to further their cause. Number two, they are never going to respect you. They're never going to like you, and they're never going to vote for you. So you're giving him praise isn't going to translate into some kind of mutual respect. They have no respect for you, and they never will. Three, I don't think Donald Trump really deserves credit for this deal other than he's president at the moment. In my opinion, you don't get credit for brokering a ceasefire deal when one side has completely destroyed the other. In my opinion, this conflict came to an end because Israel was ready to stop. And they said, pretty much, in my opinion, to Donald Trump, we'll stop when we want to stop, and then we'll let you get credit, and we'll praise you. Oh, you deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. In order for Donald Trump, in my opinion, to get credit, he has to be deeply involved in the minutia of the negotiations. He would have had to done this months ago. I don't think you get credit for a ceasefire, like I said, when one side completely destroys the other. You get credit for a ceasefire when both sides has the capacity and the ability to fight back in a substantial way. And that just simply does not exist in this case. Because if both sides are able to fight and you stop that conflict, then you're preserving lives on both sides. That's not what happened here. What happened here is Israel completely destroyed Hamas and obliterated Gaza, killing thousands of innocent civilians. They were finished. They accomplished their goals for the most part, and they're ready to finish. And their best friend, Donald Trump, they looped him in and praised him for creating this ceasefire. And I don't think Democrats and pro-democracy individuals should be taking part in that, other than saying, we're grateful that the hostages have been released. We hope the killing of the Palestinians stop. And we hope that all people have dignity and respect. Period. End of sentence. There's no need to, and we thank Donald Trump for, no. Donald Trump gets credit, in my opinion, only because he's president at the time, which is really not worth anything. So I think we do a grave mistake by continually elevating Donald Trump and his stature this way. We did the same thing. We allowed the same thing to take place when he was president in 2017. We allowed him to take credit for this great economy, which in many ways was just a continuation of the Obama economy. All the trend lines went in the same direction until the very end. And we have allowed him to take credit for that, which allowed him to come back into office. And we also allowed him to get none of the blame for when the economy crashed under his watch. So no, Democrats, don't give Donald Trump any credit for this ceasefire. None. If this would have happened 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe you can give him give him some credit. But this current conflict, iteration of this conflict, ended simply because Israel was ready to end it. Israel could have ended this conflict months ago, and they chose not to because they didn't want to. Now that they have accomplished pretty much all their goals, they have ended it. Also, Donald Trump said that this is an era of, peace in the Middle East, or a new beginning, or something to that effect. No, what happened is, very clearly, Obama pulled out of Iraq. Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. It was chaotic, but Donald Trump, again, Democrats let Donald Trump escape the blame for negotiating that agreement with the Taliban, as Democrats always do. And Israel completely destroyed Hezbollah. They completely neutered Iran's capability to strike back, which allowed Donald Trump to simply walk in, bomb, and leave, and then take credit for that. He would have never done that if he knew there was a risk of those pilots being shot down, because he really isn't that tough of a guy. When he faces significant pushback, he always backs down. But he picks on people that are entities, groups, people, countries that he knows can't push back in a sufficient way. That's why he hasn't gone really hard at China, hasn't gone really hard at Russia, because they can push back in a significant way. So those are just my thoughts on the situation. And also, going back to what I said before, Israel completely neutered Iran, destroyed Hezbollah. Donald Trump had pretty much no playing in that other than sitting back and let Israel dog walk him. And when they were finished, they gave him credit for it. So, do not give Donald Trump credit for this, Democrats. And if you want to give him credit because he's simply president at the time. But explain in detail all the ways that he really doesn't deserve credit for, because he really doesn't.